Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
About 85, 86 million tickers now, Hydra.
I gotta buy a NID.
What? To win money? They have all the faction mods?
I'm sorry? What?
Do you have all the faction mods for the mid?
Nope.
We'll need to get those, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta finish getting a faction for mine.
Yeah, that'll come with ratting. They'll drop over time.
Yeah, I'm mining for my super now.
That'll take a while.
Hey,
Yeah,
boss.
and I've only got 2 miners out, so but I've got my Rourke out on my alt, and he's boosting miners.
Do you know? Do you know what the factory cost is just to build a freaking super now is?
No.
100 million to put it in the job queue.
Oh,
Even with
Lord.
Sav and all the discounts?
I didn't understand that one.
Say again?
So, yeah, I thought you got discounts if it was in your own like
No.
capital system or something.
Nope. Nope. Makes absolutely no difference. CCP decided a while back that they were going to charge for all jobs. The Titans like 3 billion or something like that to build, 2 billion.
Oh, Lord. Plus all the materials and all that. Oh, Lord.
Yep, and that goes to CCP. That's one of the big things they put in about a year ago. Is they tax every factory job at like 1% or something. Well, when you're building something that's, 20 billion, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, what about that Nidhogger, boss?
They're in the cooker.
Awesome.
That's why everything went up so much when it came out because people weren't expecting that. And I throw a Nix in and it's like 98 million just to build it. Wow, gee. In my POS, in my array, yes.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
That I don't get back. Yeah, okay.
That's their curve to inflation.
Yep, and it worked because it's last time I looked at the economic report, I think it was third or fourth on their ISINC list now. I mean, it was something like 400 billion they took in a month on bills.
Oh,
The problem is there's too much risk in the game. I mean, when somebody gave Test $1
right.
trillion to fight the goons, $1 trillion, like it was nothing. Here, have $1 trillion, go build some dreads.
I just found out yesterday that Iron Bank, you know that guy, right?
Uh-huh.
That prick bought injectors, and he now has every skill in the game trained to 5.
Yep.
500 million skill points.
Yeah, it kind of screws up. That's why I hate the whole injector thing. It's like it.
Right.
So what if you're in the game for 5 years? It doesn't matter. I can come in a day and make enough money to boom do it.
Yeah, pay to win.
My daddy give me his credit card. I can kick your ass. I think that, I don't know, wrong.
It is.
It does make it more welcoming for new players with a credit card to come in or that are motivated, but I'm not sure that the trade-off is worth it.
Warp drive active.
They could put a little bit of effort towards making it a little more inviting for new players. Or you remember what was that a while back that they had those a couple years ago, they had those plus 12 across the board implants.
Yeah.
What, you remember that?
Yep.
And when you were a newbie, you got those implants, and you could train really hard. Stay in Empire. Don't lose your friggin' implants.
But as a new player, if I want to come out here and know y'all, that wouldn't do me much good, would it?
No.
No, and you're not supposed to, because the learning curve is in Empire, and you need to practice and come out before you come out here and just lose battleships after battleships out here.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Or freighters.
I've lost 4 Dominics since I've been here. I'm a fucking twat.
Well, this is part of the learning curve.
But I finally got a last hit the other day, so I'm quite happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had like 3 fit up for ratting before, and I give them to somebody. I don't know who it was. It was, about a year ago. I gave them to somebody.
I'm really now thinking they got to revamp everything because this nano shit's got to end.
Yeah.
It's made the
working.
game one-dimensional. That's all it is now. It's just one-dimensional. Battleships are useless. You can't use them. Even carriers, they're good to rat with, but you can't really fight the nano gangs with it. So you need to have area effect webs, or you need to have something that the battleships, you need to go to level 6 tracking, and that'll fuck everybody up.
All right.
Because what's the point of having battleships right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a place to store your minerals, basically.
They should make fighters that, those fighters that web, slow people down. Those ones that don't do any real actual harm or damage, they should be E-War immune.
Yeah.
That way, you can at least slow down the nano gangs, right, to apply damage to them.
Well, let's just look at a super. Super cost almost 30 billion to fit out, and a couple hacks can hold it down and kill it in a matter. It takes a lot of time, but they can't really defend against them.
Yeah. I can't do shit about him.
You can't hit them. Even your fighters don't do enough damage to them. So you need to either have area effect weapons that slows everything down, or they just need to get a cut in speed, or tracking needs to be improved and everything.
Right. Yeah, I knew they were gonna do it. They just keep twiddling with the knobs a little bit here, a little bit there, and now everything's all screwed up.
So let's take a Titan. You can take a Titan, and somebody locks the Titan down. One dread will kill a Titan.
Yeah.
Well, really?
Yeah, I can't beat like Ty's Neglifar. I can't kill Ty's Neglifar with my Titan.
Yeah.
I can
That shouldn't be possible.
I can doomsday it and get it all the way down to almost into armor, and then by the time the 10 minutes comes by, he's already back up to full health again, and I shoot him again. My guns won't do enough damage to hurt him. And that's ridiculous. You have a 100 billion ship that can't kill a 3 billion dread.
Right.
So what the fuck's the point of Titan anyway then?
You can blitz people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
It does give some nice bonuses.
The only time Titans are good is when you have 3 or 4 of them on the field, because then you can hit 2 of them on one dread, boom, it pops, and hit 2 of them on another dread, and it pops, and you got rid of 2 dreads the first 10 minutes of the fight. And then if all 4 of you shoot at one, you have a chance of damaging it, and you have so many hit points that they need 25 or 30 to go through yours before the 10 minutes goes up.
Maybe they should make the Doomsday fuel-based rather than a timer.
It is fuel-based and a timer.
Yeah,
You gotta have
yeah.
fuel.
I mean, just fuel. Something
Yeah,
to make
well,
it, you know.
a
Well,
little faster.
they can always just remake the Doomsday back to the old days, you know? With an area effect Doomsday. Kill everything on the field. That
Yeah,
would
but
be nice.
it would kill all your little ships. It wouldn't kill your big ships. You know, they either need to up the damage on it again.
You top it a lot.
You know, because right now,
Dreads and carriers should be one shot by Doomsday.
absolutely. I mean, think about it. Now you have a dread. Even your dreads and carriers are running 60% resist on everything. So you're doing, you know, 3 million damage, but that's really only less than like right at a million. Most
Yeah.
of them will carry 1,000,000 hit points.
If I use the right set of sentry fighter bombers on my Nyx, I can barely kill Ty's Dreadnought.
Yeah, and it takes forever, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to worry about one dread when you're in a super. You know,
So we
that
should
should
be
be
able to just annihilate them.
yeah, that should be suicide for a dread. Three should be suicide for a dread. The way I've always figured it is, if you have a 30 million ship, you should have to have 30 billion worth of ships to shoot at it to kill it. You know, not a 3 billion kills a 30 billion. No.
Yeah.
They need to give
It's
all the battleships like a 10% bonus on damage, so that you know it's ridiculous. I can get
And tracking.
I can get a T3 to do as much damage as my battleships.
Yeah, and you move like 5 times as fast.
Yep. And have more tank. You know,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
If I tank my Proteus, I can get it up to 150k with snake implants.
Right. And here you are shooting at it with a battleship doing, oh, look, I'm doing 500 damage to it. Oh, look, it'll take me 2 weeks to kill him. If he stands still.
right.
You know, I miss the days when you had to have a complete fleet. You know, you had to have battleships if you wanted to do serious DPS. Now, you don't have to. You bring in, I mean, look at the Eagles. The Eagles are doing what, 400 or 500 damage?
Uh-huh.
And that's incredible for the distance they're at and stuff. And the battleships are doing 800.
Railguns. Yeah, right.
Some years ago, I could tank 50 plus people in battleships and cruisers with my carrier
Yep.
without having any troubles. You know, today 10 Tangoos can kill me.
And you can't kill one of them.
Yeah, because they move too fast and I have no tracking. I can't just switch to other fighters or other normal drones that can track them because I cannot use them anymore. You could just switch to sentries. You could pop out 30 sentries instead of your fighters.
And anything that came within their range got killed.
Yeah.
They need to have an anti-nano fighter.
Yeah.
Something that travels, you know, extremely fast, 7K, 8K, and keeps up with everything it does.
Yeah.
It has extreme tracking.
Yes.
Warp drive active.
I don't know how fast the support fighters go, but that's what they're supposed to do. Like
Yeah, but they don't.
They don't go
You
fast
can't
enough.
track them at all. No, you can't track them. Tracking
Or you should be able
is just too
to.
bad.
You should be able to remote sensor boost a carrier, and that should affect the fighters. So if it's being jammed out, you should be able to go put anti-ECCM on a carrier or something like that.
It's not locking that's the problem, it's the actual fighter hitting the target. That's the problem.
Right, no, I'm saying you should be able to remote boost fighters just like you can remote boost other ships.
You
Well,
just
I
need
mean-
to have.
I mean,
You
they
need to
have
have-
webbing. They have webbing fighters. They have, you know,
Yeah, but on a
tackle
carrier,
fighters.
you don't have enough. You don't have enough squadrons. I mean, yeah,
Right.
you web it and tackle it, and well, you can't kill it because you don't have anything left.
Only have 3 slots. Plus, if you
Yeah,
put
but
webbing
you could
drones in,
only-
you only get 3 fighters per squad.
And
If you have webs or newts or whatever in,
it's
there's
so
only
easy.
3.
It's so easy to jam out the fighter squad. You know.
Right.
Yeah, they just have 1 interceptor on your carrier, and you can't kill that because that's too fast for you. So it has a permanent point on you. You can't go anywhere. And then they just kill off your drones because you can't do shit to them.
Need to have area effect weapons. Boom, come out. Boom, everybody's web. Boom, everybody's 4 times bigger than they used to be. There you go. Area effect target painter.
Wow, there you go.
Suddenly your freaking interceptor looks like a battleship. Yes.
Yeah. Then you could hit them.
And what it does, it would cut down your you couldn't rat because the same way, because you'd have to take your fighter control units out to put the weapons in, so it would cut down your DPS.
So what's our biggest problem in building supers at the moment?
And building what?
More supers?
Well, we can build them. We just have to do a couple more mining ops to get Vexilon. I mean, supers are okay if you can put 5 on the field with 2 fax machines. Then you're in pretty good shape. You know, you still can't kill the little ones, little ships, but anything that's big, you'll destroy. You know, like I was talking to Ty last night, and the way you got to do it is like when the dreads come, is you shoot the little shit, and then you use your missile salvo. You hit the dread, then you go back to killing the smaller ships, and then when you're ready to do the next missile salvo, you hit the dread again, because that's the only thing that does any damage to them.
Ah.
I can take his, and I think Avos can too, right down to almost, right into going into armor with a good
Yeah.
missile salvo. But then he tanks it again up before you're ready again. So if you have 2, you'll get deep into armor the first time. The second missile salvo with 2 of them, he's dead.
Yeah, but you wish you wouldn't need to, you know?
Yeah, you should need 2 to kill a dread, but that's how you have to do it. 2 shoots at one, and then the second you finish your missile salvo, you start shooting all your small shit that you can hit and kill them off, and then shoot the missile salvo again and shoot the small shit, kill them off.
It should change the name to Bad Day rather than Doomsday.
Yeah. Man, I'm not saying that I exactly want to go back to the complete area effect with the Doomsday, but maybe, you know, it ought to be a much more limited Doomsday, or do a percentage of damage to everything in the area, maybe not kill all the other
Or
ships.
else they should change the timer on it from 10 minutes to 2 minutes.
That would help too.
Then it would be starting to be equivalent to what it's supposed to be, you know?
Yeah, well, you can only shoot it 7 times. That's it. You know, you run out of fuel. So yeah, 2 minutes wouldn't be bad. You could hit, you know, 7 targets that way. I don't know. I think Ty's Dread will tank up in 2 minutes enough to where maybe I'd run him out of cap by the second one.
Maybe. If you're lucky. If he hasn't killed you already, you know?
Yeah.
Because he does, like, impeccable damage to every ship, pretty much. Like, they really need to nerf the dreadnoughts a lot. Like, either damage-wise or tank-wise.
That's what I'm gonna do. Is I want to build 3 or 4 Neglophars when I have time, and fit them like his, and have those in a hangar to pass out to people. Because you get 4 of those, and you can do serious damage to some ships.
Yeah.
How many hit points does the Nyx have now?
I refitted mine, so it doesn't have that much.
Yeah, they're only about 10 million, 8 million now. I mean, it's not like it's a whole lot.
Yeah, I fitted mine for ratting, so I only have 1.5 million.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, his dread would take you down quick, you know, because that's not a lot of hit points.
Yeah. But it's good for riding.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting the NID.
Well, that's why the Hell is good, because the Hell's a shield tank, so you just you can throw everything in the bottom, it doesn't matter, you know?
Right.
You still
I'll
have
link to my fit for you. Hold on.
Okay, you still have 7 million hit points, but you got, 3 or 4 damage modifiers in the bottom.
Yeah.
Until they change that too.
And even with all those damage modifiers, you still couldn't take his dread down quick?
I could decently, but I barely could break the tank with his rippers on. And if I switch to the capital ones, the drones, the volleys do 65k or so on them. The Mollis do about 6,500 on dreadnoughts, on the normal shots, and 65k on the torpedo salvos. But they shouldn't have enough cap, in my opinion, to dual rep on dreadnoughts and have that much tank, because that's just ridiculous, you know.
Glass cannons.
Not glass cannons.
I mean, they should be
Yeah, they should
limited to. Yeah.
It should be either high DPS or high tank, and no DPS. Shouldn't be both.
Maybe dreads are the new battleship.
Yeah, maybe we should just build a whole bunch of dreadnoughts and go for Rome. Just jumping through the gates.
It wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
No, I've seen a lot of, but it's been a few years. I was back in Raid and Dot days, you know? So it's been a few years. But what's before the timer thingies? The jump timer, fatigue timer. That was the good old days where you could actually fight with your supers and your dreadnoughts. You sit on the gates with 30 sentries out, just blabs, things coming through. Sit like 100 supers on a gate and just have 300 sentries out and blab everything that came through a gate. Just annihilate 300 man tank things, you know.
And then to top it off, the carriers don't have triage anymore. I don't know exactly where they come up with that idea.
Did you see Oma, they changed the remote ECM burst?
Up, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Warp drive active.
Don't you just hate it when it happens?